it's a good start to the movie. Then it gets a little boring. Hello, welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host, Khaleel Ward. On this episode, I'll be talking about The Colony. It's a Netflix movie. It's a German sci-fi movie. We follow this astronaut returning to Earth. Basically, Earth had a pandemic and climate change and war, and people couldn't live here anymore. So they left. They found another colony called Kepler, and everything was working on Kepler except they couldn't have any kids. They were trying to match people together to see if they can have kids, and it wasn't really working. So they decided to come back to Earth. The first mission back to Earth, they landed, but they lost communication. So they sent a second group to Earth to see what happened to them, to see if everybody could come back to Earth. The opening scene is cool. You see the pod coming through, and it hits the water, and you get introduced to the characters. Mainly Blake, Louise Blake. She's the main character in the story. Her team arrives. It's not a smooth landing at all. They get ambushed by some people, and you're wondering, like, okay, is it gonna be like one of those captive stories when they just start torturing her and she has to figure out how to get away? Earth looks weird. It's just a bunch of sand and water, and everybody's barefoot. They don't really speak English. They just speak in this broken language that they understand. They kind of understand her. Some older characters, like the adults, they speak English, but the little kids, they don't really speak English. It's really dark at first. Like, it's just the lighting and everything is really dark. But when she gets captured, you're like, okay, what's going to happen? They put her in this weird looking prison and everything. And then it just kind of falls off a little bit. These people, they call them mud people. Don't know why. But they end up getting attacked by some group. And some of them get kidnapped. And then you have Blake. She escapes. And she's wondering, like, what's this other group doing to these people? So she ends up, like, helping them in a way. And she's trying to find out what happened to her father, because her father was a part of the first group of astronauts that came to the planet, and they lost contact with them. So then it just turns into Blake helping this other group defeat this third group that came out of nowhere. So it drags. It's not a long movie, but there's no real action going on. There's besides the opening sequence when they come to the planet, there's no real action. It's a lot of talking and trying to piece together what happened, to Earth and to the group that came. So as far as an entertaining movie, I would say it's not that entertaining. I kind of struggled to finish it because I wanted to see some more conflict of something, or more interesting details about what happened to the first group of astronauts. So I would say it's not something you need to rush to go see on Netflix. If it happens to pop up in your feed, maybe check it out for a little bit, at the beginning, and see where it stands. But honestly, it's not something I'm going to go back to or recommend to others if they're looking for something cool to watch on Netflix. But it's called The Colony. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Deuces.